dashboard. Live. What's going on, chat? Are you guys ready for today's podcast?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3,
2,
1.
1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast. We got a little bit of a funky thing going on here with how we got everybody showing, but we'll fix that as we go through. Now, we got a lot of things to talk about this week. First of all, I want to talk about the new fusion, how bad I feel it is, and are fusions still worth doing? I mean, the last two that Plarium has put out for us are pretty much a pass for, I'd say, more than 50% of the community. We're going to talk about some 3v3 arena and how awesome it is. And I've got a couple of other little small things that are on my mind that I want to get your intake on. But before we get too far into the show, let's introduce the co-host for today's podcast. In the top little red box, we got Mr. FinalKenpachi. Ken, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing good. Good to be on the podcast again. And yeah, by the way, my chat has forced me to say something on the podcast. Can I say that?
Go ahead.
So it's a joke. Okay, I'm sorry again. What you call a man with the rubber toe?
A rubber toe?
Rubber toe, yeah.
I don't know.
Roberto.
Rubber-
And yeah, and what you call a man with rubber toe, and if he lose his car? Roberto Carlos. I'm sorry.
So I want to give a shout out to which one of your chat was the one that came up with that?
I'm sorry.
Who in your chat was it that came up with that one?
Wall chat, actually.
Okay. So we're gonna get Copium King to join us in here, and King Copium, sorry, to join us in. Sorry, it sounds so much. I don't know. We're gonna get him to join us in the podcast here in just a second. He was running a little bit late, but while we wait for him, let's talk live arena. Mr. Gestal Gaming, Gestal, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well, man. Excited to come in here and chat with you about raid stuff. Let's see what's happening.
Awesome. Next up, we've got the endgame low spend perspective, Mr. MXPJE. PJ, what is going on, bro?
Doing good. Watched some UFC last night. Watched some boxing actually on Friday. They fought in Times Square. I'm not sure if you guys saw that or not, but that was kind of interesting. But yeah, as far as raid, doing good. Didn't really do this community event, so kind of chilled for a little bit, and excited to be here and talk raid with you guys.
Nice. Next up, all the way from Texas, we got the dab master himself, Mr. Zero Brew. Zero, what is going on, bro? How are you?
What is going on? We are doing just fine. We finally hit 1,000 subscribers on the YouTubes, so thank you to everyone to help us get there. Hell yeah. GG. And I did not stream Friday night, but I learned the Texas two-step and the cowboy cha-cha with a little date knife with the wifeful. So it was fun times.
Okay. Can we expect a video to show up with you doing the Texas stream and the cha-cha? Come on.
No.
Or even live demonstration?
No. Yeah, maybe a live demonstration. We might be able to work that out.
Why don't you show us something real quick here? You know, chat's very interested.
Don't hurt yourself.
And knowing,
yeah,
we don't want you to break a hip or anything, but
yeah. So it's right foot, and then you wave, and then cha cha cha, left foot dip, cha cha cha, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3.
Okay,
there you go.
Chat. If he hits 2,000 subscribers, he's gonna put out a video with him doing the dance. So if you already haven't, make sure you go follow him on YouTube and get ready for that. All right.
Hell yeah.
Last but not least, we've got King Copium joining us again. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing just
Doing good.
wonderful. Just wonderful. All right, let me get PJ back on here real quick, just so I can fix this. In the meantime, let me ask you guys, how is your Titans Path event going? Are you still doing it? Did you get yourself that 6-star soul? Let's start off with Zero Brew first.
Oh no, I stopped at 3. I stopped at 3. Yeah. I know we're gonna get into the new fusion, but yeah, just kind of it's been nice to take a little break and not go ham on a Titan fusion. But I did go for 3, so that was good.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
Almost going to hit the 1000 point, which is like 4-star. But I didn't do that for the champion. I just use my daily stuff, that's all. So
Okay. Gestal, what about yourself?
I got 3-star. I wasn't gonna push much more than that. I don't know. I've been kind of taking it easy on those, trying to save up resources again. So.
Okay. Copium, what about yourself?
I also took it to 3 stars, just mid game. It's not really it, but my early game accounts are gonna love it.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't do this very hard. I barely got the 3-star yesterday. So I tried to save most of my resources.
So was I the only one that went for the 5-star? Yeah.
I think so.
Chat, what about you guys? Did you guys go for the 5-star, 3-star? Where did you guys cap out at? What did you say enough was enough?
I'd rather do a fusion than get the 5-star.
Yeah,
And this is pretty much a fusion.
I agree. I will say that I did not use 2x ancients. I did pull some. I think I had like 50. But I didn't go heavy on anything else. Like I skipped the dungeon divers. I did do the summon rust in the champ chase. Again, I did them with mystery shards. But nothing crazy. Like I didn't go all out, right? With that said, though, let's take a look at what chat says. If I can get chat, man, it's so bad today, guys. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. For some reason, everything is just going way off on me. But I feel like the path event, or the community Titan event week path was the rewards were decent, but I'm just not a big fan of having to farm out for the soul, right? Let me ask you guys, have you already summoned your Artor, right? Ken, are you saving them for the 30k CVC points, or are you using them right now?
yeah, I guess I'm saving him for the CVC if we need it, or the champion chess. I don't need him now. I mean, I'm not gonna need it anytime, so I can save him like whenever I need it.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I'm saving it. I have a whole bunch saved up. I don't know if it's more for CVC or if like there's a good champ chase or something.
Okay.
Or like a good like a good champ chase. If like you can get champion at if you get first place or something. So I try to hang on to him for that, so I could like unload 40,000 points at once.
So he's ready to be sniping
He's
somebody.
Staying in the frags, man.
Yeah.
He's staying there as long until some good reason to have him.
Okay.
I probably got about 8 locked and loaded right now.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So if
Yeah,
you're
just keep them. If I'm not gonna use them, why pull them? Just keep them there. I got Con still in there. I got a 5-star for Con too.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't pulled him out. He's waiting. He's waiting. I mean, if it was someone who's gonna be a total game changer, I would pull him in a heartbeat. But I don't feel like any of these guys are really gonna really bring it for me. So
Okay.
just wait.
What about you guys? Have you used him yet? Have you summoned him? Have you built him? And if so, what kind of sets have you built him in? I'm not pulling him on the main account. I'm going to leave him for CVC because he'll be good for the 30,000 points. But my alt account, I am currently building him. I think I'm running masteries in the background right now, actually. And, just to do the showcase, I might actually even have to book him. I'm sorry to say. Zero, what about you?
Yeah, he is in the vault and will probably stay there because I'm looking at a Lamassu I've yet to pull out and 5 shards away from an Empress, and they're going to get pulled way before our tour. So I'm going to pull a Gestal and hold on to these for a while. Hold them for a while. But if I were to build him, I'd probably put him in a stun set. At least that's going to be my first attempt.
A stun set. Interesting.
Yeah, like I feel like, you know, if you were free or newer, if you started like in January, right? You have Alice and you have who else? Oh, and maybe if you went for like Wukong or something like that, I think he would be a really good support. And maybe you can stun with the A1 and keep them healed up, and then set them up to nuke or lock out with Alice. That would be what I would do if I was still playing my free to play account.
Okay, you do know he has a turn meter fill, right? So he's a turn meter booster.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that to set them up, right? Give them the attack and the strength and help try to keep them alive, and then I would A1 after that.
Okay.
To try to keep them healed. Yeah. Hopefully, you give them the attack, they can smack when it's their turn to go, and or keep them alive with the strength and then keep them topped off while stunning at the same time is kind of what I would do if I was using this with Alice and Wukong.
Okay, fair enough. Ken, what about you?
I already answered.
Oh, sorry. Copium King.
Others.
King Copium.
I'm gonna hold out for PR CBC. I'm probably gonna rip him then, and then give him a nice, comfortable spot in the vault.
Okay. PJ?
Unless I really need him for, like, if we're going crazy hard for a CVC, I'd rather wait and summon him during, like, a champion chase for a fusion. That's, I think, a great way to save shards and still do fusions, to save champions like this for that time, because it saves a lot of points. And so, yeah, I'll probably wait for, like, a fusion and pull him during a champion chase.
Okay, so we can see that 1,574 people have pulled him, and the reviews... I don't know. Do you guys agree with these reviews? 4.6, 4.5 in Demon Lord.
If I were to guess, it's the people who actually need to use him are voting him for that.
Okay.
That's because everybody else, like most of us with in-game accounts, aren't probably going to use him at all, or they haven't even pulled him out of the vault, right? So we're not going to be rating him because we're not even using him. So I would think the people who needed to use him think he's providing that extra support. They probably didn't have the support on their account, right?
Okay. Chat, overall, would you guys give him a overall rating of like a 4? It looks like I'm gonna go ahead and say a 4.5. Do you guys agree an overall rating of 4.5 for him? Because man, I don't know. I don't think I would. He's gonna be helpful for early accounts, but not as crazy as a 4.5. I mean, let's take a look at Arbiter real quick, because Arbiter is somebody I would compare to him. And she's got, where is she? Yeah, she's way higher. Or, well, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as to say for hard mode dungeons, I'd probably say, yeah, she's kind of crap. But for some of the other ones, I don't know. I don't think so. And I to be honest, I don't think
that's interesting.
I don't.
That's
think
interesting to see her that low.
Yeah.
And about the same amount of votes. I know they did a reset recently.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I would put Arbiter as a much more higher rating than him. But all right. So we've got a new fusion. It literally feels like it's back-to-back crap fusions. Remind me again, did any of you guys go for the last fusion? PJ?
Yeah.
Gestal?
No, I did not.
Copium? King Copium?
No, I didn't go for it.
Zero, did you go for the last fusion?
I didn't, but when Gestal, Mr. Catch-em-all, doesn't go for it, then you made the right decision. So no, I did not.
Well, I've pulled back from that stance a bit because I used to be that way all the time, but that was also when I was throwing the builds around a little bit more. So I've stopped doing that, and I'm being I'm trying to be a more efficient player. So
you've stopped throwing the bills around. So MX, you called MX and said no more.
Yeah, well,
I haven't done that yet.
At some point, man.
I probably should.
I'm not saying I stopped, but I don't do it like I used. Like I just don't have like the limited amount of shards all the time now because like I was kind of constantly. But
okay.
So.
Ken, I think you skipped the last fusion. Did you not?
I skip it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Chat, how many of you actually did go for the last fusion and used it or even building it? Let us take a look at our boy over here, Ishiyama the Immovable. So he's a Shadowkin. Plarium told us that they believe this guy is going to be good for Arena. Now, before we go through with the skill kit, I want to ask you guys, as an Arena champion, what are the 2 things that the champion has to have for you to say, yes, they are definitely going to be great for Arena and decent everywhere else? I'm going to start with PJ first.
Ignore defense.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, ideally they like can boost themselves somehow.
Okay.
Buff themselves.
So self-buff and ignore defense. Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, they have to have something special like ignore stone skin or defense, like something on that realm, and they've got to be like some sort of survivability, whether it's just super tanky like a Taurus or like Siegfried has his crazy passive, stuff like that. So I feel like they've kind of, for a damage dealer, you kind of have like to have both to be in live arena these days.
Okay, so they gotta have something that basically will keep them alive, and something to counter the current meta, which is Stone Skin, right?
Yeah,
King
basically.
Copium. See, I got it right, guys. I got it
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
What about you? What do you think? You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Sorry about that. For me, I just wanted to bring something that is different. I mean, this champion's not bringing anything that I don't think is already in Shadowkin for hard faction wars. It's like the only reason that I'm even really considering this guy. But Sachi.
Okay. You just went silent again. All right. While we wait for him, why don't I go on to 0-0? What about you? What do your nukers have to be considered for Arena?
Yeah, multipliers, man. Multipliers, especially if it's HP based nuker. And then I know this isn't your question, but if you're gonna have a nuker in Arena, you have to have that 4-star soul. So hopefully they give them the soul for this. I know it's not your question. You won't kit, but
explain this. Why are we using Hansel and Gretel then?
Who is that? Me?
That's you.
AoE's on the A1.
Hey. Oh, sauce! You punk.
You took a loss.
No, you know what it was. You know what it was. Yeah, you know what it was. It's so funny that happened because I pinged him as soon as we picked up. Yeah. By the way, they actually can smack it in live arena. Believe it or not, they didn't in this case, but I've been actually getting some headway on that. Yeah, I forgot but he took Marius right out of the rib, and they kind of threw me completely off. And then he took Marishka, and I was like, oh, I can't do Marishka Taurus. He happened to just perfectly pick everything against me, so I was like, whatever. I was hoping the Fabian could get in and lock it out. It didn't quite work out that way. Okay. He banned my Arbiter.
I was just curious if you were trying to do something crazy with those two.
I mean, I've been trying to work them in. Now the thing is, I have nerfed them and put better gear on my Siegfried and with the free gear cleanse, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. Mm-hmm. But I was just trying to take advantage of that, so I made my Gizmak in Siegfried 300 plus speed, and doing so, and also in Stone Skin and stuff. So in doing so, I had to nerf their builds a little bit so they don't hit as hard as they once did. But they actually can do some stuff in live arena. Yeah, that was a funny battle. And by the way, it's funny because I'm used to seeing it the other way. Mine was red. I was like, why is that green? I know I lost that fight. Oh, it's his screenshot.
King Copium, are you back? There we go.
Yeah, I think I should be. So what I was saying, sorry, my daughter's going crazy. Sachi and Kunoichi are both already in Shadowkin. So there's nothing that this champion's bringing that is new to the faction. Even for hard faction wars, I am struggling to decide whether to go for this guy or not personally.
Okay. And Ken, what about you? What does an arena nuker need to bring in for you to be able to use them?
A good multiplier, of course, and like the Gestal said, like I want utility on them. You know, like having a good multiplier. If you are not ignoring Stone Skin, or if you don't have like any survivability on your passive skill, or any kit that protect you, not going to help you that well. So, and I don't see that on him.
Okay. Chat, I think we can all agree that we, in our arena nukers, do not look for a decreased crit damage and a decreased crit rate, right? You guys could tell us if that is something you're looking for in your arena nuker, but for myself, I don't think that's something I'm looking for. All right, let's break down the kit. Let's take a look, and let's see if Plarium was right in saying that this guy will be useful in arena, or is he going to be useful everywhere else? The A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit transfers a random debuff from this target, from this champion to the target. If this champion is under any debuffs when counterattacks with this skill. Okay, so if we've got, if you're pairing him in arena with, not arena, I guess if you're pairing him in Hydra, he's going to counterattack if under any debuffs with like a grip attack. The A2 attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance of placing a fear debuff and a 25% crit damage and a 30% crit rate, decreased crit rate debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted by enemies who are already under 2 or more debuffs. Okay, so for us to use him here in arena, we're going to have to worry about polymorph. The A3 attacks one enemy, will ignore 25% of the target's defense, will ignore 50% of the target's defense instead if the target is under 2 or more debuffs, places a block damage on this champion for 2 turns. If this attack kills an enemy, books down to a 3-turn cooldown. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff placed by this champion, the next debuff placed by this champion cannot be resisted. Each debuff placed by this champion increases this champion's max HP by 3%, stacks up to 30. Okay, so I am not a fan of them locking us in to the debuffs, right? I will say that as of right now, no matter what we do, even if we don't build him with any accuracy, eventually he's going to be landing those debuffs in arena. Now, granted, for that to happen, we have to have longer fights, which I don't see a lot of arena fights going on for 5-10 minutes for him to be able to cycle back to that cooldown. But, Ken, what are your thoughts on this guy, man?
Like you said, like his A2 skill is the attack enemy one, right? And it has a 3 debuff: fear, decrease critical damage, and decrease crit rate. Decrease critical damage and the decrease crit rate is super useless debuff, especially for the arena. And his fear is not even true fear. I mean, doesn't really matter. Like fear is RNG CC debuff, so nobody going to count on the fear. And whenever I see the fear first, I'm like, oh man, he could be maybe useful on the Chimera. Let me check the trial. But there is no trial asking you to land decreased critical damage or the decreased crit rate. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
There is one that has you have, I think, one or the other. I think it's decreased crit rate. I think. You know what?
Is it decrease or increase?
I think it was increase.
I think you're right. Increase. You're right. Increase.
Yeah, there was a decrease accuracy, right?
Yeah.
Decrease accuracy, but yeah. So he have a fear debuff. I mean, just use the Lydia. She's a fear. She's a decreased defense weaken. She has a strength increased speed buff. She's a more block active skill stuff like that for the Viper form. And rest of the kits doesn't have anything special for the Chimera as well. I really don't know. Like, I feel like, they said like this champion designed for the arena, right?
Yep.
It is their word, by the way. I guess 2020, maybe they are talking, maybe 21.
Yeah, that's fair. Prior to polymorph, maybe then you were okay with putting that in.
Polymorph and Stone Skin.
Yeah. Zero, what about you? What are your thoughts on this guy?
Like all-inclusive thoughts? Yep. Yeah, so at first I was like, yeah, another HP nuker. And again, we say this with a grain of salt, depending on where everybody is, free to play or beginning or mid game, late game, end game, and super end game. And like for me, I have, White King Narcisse, I got Taras, I've got Crockmore, who I absolutely love, I've got Phallic Blade Master, I've got Eric, so I've got all these HP based nukers. And so I was like, another one to the mix. I don't know where I'm going with this. I have since now seen the multiplier videos, so a lot of the CCs who had access to the test servers have done some testing with it, and it does look like he's got really good multipliers. So for me personally, I think I am going to go for him because we did skip the last one. Just speaking out on the A1, I do like to see a double hitter there, so that helps fight against Ultimate Death Knight teams, right? So first hit goes to Death Knight, second hit will go to your actual target. And if it hits really, really hard, that's good. And then I think like the debuffs, right? So as more debuffs get out, this dude kind of smacks him really hard. And so I'm thinking Kablax, Teox, and maybe this dude comes in and hits pretty hard. And of course, we've got Faction Ward hard coming. Final thought I'll say is we got the other Shadowkin HP nuker just recently, and I'm disappointed that they're both Spirit Affinity. I really wish this dude had come in as one of the other two affinities, because the two HP nukers now in Shadowkin are both the same affinity, so that's kind of crappy, in my opinion.
Okay. So I'm reading chat here, and then Sector OJ makes a comment here that says, some of the later end trials require more debuffs, which can help you with this to try to get that trial done. And I will say, listen, decreased crit rate and crit damage on the boss will allow you to, if you can keep it up the whole time, that's the bigger thing. But if you can keep it up the whole time, it'll allow you to take less damage with decreased attack, and be able to build your champions way faster, way more damage build, right? So let me. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, and my understanding is Chimera comes in at 30% versus 15%, like all the other bosses. Chimera actually has the higher percentage on that. And
if I think that was a good call out though, because I think everybody else only puts a 15% decrease crit rate, right?
Yes.
So he's the only one that does a 30%.
Yeah, and Chimera's the only one with 30%. Yeah. And then the other thing is that teaser trailer, you're 100% right, on the hardware factions, when they gave us the teaser trailer, that one where they were specifically talking about the bosses, it specifically says to get your 3rd star, you have to kill the boss with 10 debuffs on them. That was specifically shown in that video. So a champion like this against Shadowkin, if that's the one you're fighting, he could potentially be the one that helps you get over that edge, right?
Fair point. Okay. Gestal, arena wise, what are we talking about here? Is he somebody you want to have?
Yeah, I'm reading him. I didn't see arena at all, honestly. 3 debuffs, like polymorph instantaneously is how I feel. So that's not where I went with him. I kind of was like, yeah, maybe he could be Chimera if it hit hard, but like again, those debuffs don't do anything for the trials. Fear could help a little bit, I guess, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not thrilled. I'm kind of bummed that I'm not really thrilled about the last one or this one, and I think I might be skipping them. Might be skipping this guy too. Zero brought up some good points, but I think the debuffs could be filled by other things. Like you could always bring like a brimstone, or there's always champs with some wonky debuffs. So I don't know. It's a fair point, I think, but I think I'm gonna probably skip it.
Okay. PJ, the voice of reason. What do you got for us?
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Nothing. You make a good point with they like force you to land the debuffs half the time, which is good and or bad because they can't be resisted. I do think that polymorph is fading away a little bit from arena, especially I think as more people get Embries, people are going to switch from lightning cage to polymorph or switch to lightning cage.
Still getting sheeped all day, bro.
I think it's getting less. I think there's way more lightning cage than polymorph.
I've been getting sheeped. I've been sheep more. I feel like for season 1 they turned sheep off or they lowered the percentage, and they've turned it back on for season 2. Man, I get sheeped all day. All day I'm sheeped.
Can I say something?
I have seriously been getting so frustrated because I'm always sheeped.
All right, I'm going to throw something out there. Plerm, if you're watching this, do the community a huge favor and give us a free blessing reset. You've done it a couple times, but give it to us again. It's been over a year since the last one, and allow people to move from polymorph to lightning cage with all their champions without the 150 gem costs. Plerm, please.
300.
Or 300. Sorry, is it 300? Jeez.
300.
Yeah, that's wrong. Plarium, do us all a favor.
It's 150 if it's in the same tier. It's 300 if it's out. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
PJ, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, depending on that, I feel like people are going to start switching out of polymorph a little bit. But yeah, the fear versus true fear, you give them a true fear, you're going to give them anything. Decreased crit damage, decreased crit rate is kind of the interesting thing is we did talk about like survivability when you were asking like what we look for, and like we're talking about ignore defense kind of. It doesn't ignore stone skin, but the A3 does ignore defense and also gives him a 2-turn block damage, which is some type of survivability. Granted, there are people that can hit through that, but I don't know, the rest of the kit just doesn't really seem to, like, the multipliers don't seem to hit that hard. The A3 looks like it hits pretty hard, but it seems like the A2 doesn't do that much. So I wish there was a little bit more there. And then they say he's a arena nuker, but his passive's also like for long-lasting fights, which you're probably not gonna get to 30% in like a arena battle. That seems like it's more like a Hydra or like a Chimera long-term focus battle. So that's kind of seems like counterintuitive or counter like productive. The thing that I'm probably going to use him for, most likely seems like he's going to be set up for hard faction wars. I could see him down the line needing some type of trial or with him, or he would be useful for trials down there. But for arena, yeah, he's going to be kind of tough.
I'm reading chat here. Pro Pip says the fusion's going either for high mother mod frags, or he's going to help me in hard faction wars. I think hard faction wars is probably going to be a good area for him. King Copium, what about yourself?
Yeah. So I mean, the only part of his kit that I'm interested in really at all is the not having to put accuracy on him to apply the decrease crit rate, decrease crit damage, which is 2 free debuffs, and being able to focus stats into more nuke, more speed, and being mid game, it is tempting to me because it's hard for me to get all of those stats on all of those champions. So being able to just get free without needing accuracy is appealing, but I don't see using him in an arena setting. And the showcase videos are always, with the best gear and 6-star blessings. Agreed. And check out this relic that I've got. And it's like, yeah, man, anybody can pump if you've got everything in the game. But when I just got a free wand and that's, the only legendary relic that I've got, it's kind of like, this guy just really isn't it for me. But I'm also in a situation where I don't know if I can let him go either, because I need to get some of these newer guys going.
Okay. I agree. It's good to see the full out, max videos of what they do for damage. And
yeah,
it's just kind of, it shows what an endgame account is, but let's face it, how many people are going to be able to hit those stats, right? Which has also kind of lately got me questioning where's the right amount of attack or HP or defense when we're showcasing some of these champions, right? Actually, chat, you guys let me know what is like the average you would want to see for a showcase video from all of us when we do them on like your nukers or your survivors or revivers and stuff like that. Like, what are the ideal stats that your account is currently hitting?
I want to say one more thing
Go ahead.
before we go on. I think I said this in my video going over this guy, but I think Polarium really missed here on not making this guy a reviver. Shadowkin needs a reviver so bad, and the fact that they did a Shadowkin fusion but not a reviver, I feel like really shows like their lack of touch or like out of connection.
Well, and they just gave us an HP nuker in this faction of the same affinity.
And a lot like,
you know, our Tor, who we just got, is in a faction that has 5 or 6 revivers. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever either. Like,
okay, they don't have a legendary reviver. Sorry, legendary reviver. That's not conditional. Not conditional. Not conditional. Not conditional. Not conditional.
KNIGHTSI.
Just like
show me one. Show me. Show me now. Legendary, not conditional.
All right. Well, now that you put all the restraints on there, no, they don't. And
it's just KNIGHTSI. That's the only one, right?
Every other faction has like this was like Skinwalkers had the same issue, and then they gave us Uko.
Yeah.
Like it's not like this hasn't happened before.
Yeah. No, I agree. And even with KNIGHTSI, it's only a 4-turn with 1 ally. I feel like
exactly.
At least give us 2, right?
Yeah, would you take a Godseeker or would you take a KNIGHTSI in a fight? Exactly. I already know the answer.
Harima, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Harima, yeah. One final thing I want to say about this fusion, though, is it is a traditional just shard or one. So it's usually the easier ones to go for, too, right? So if anybody is watching out in the community that's kind of on the fence on this dude, this is the easier one to go get. And you could be like me and Gestal and just keep it in your thing until you need the points for the next champ chase.
Yeah.
I thought I won Odin, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Because it was me and one dude battle in the last 2 minutes, and I saw that I was, like, we were both going for it. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm dropping the bombs. I dropped, like, 5 of them, and I ended up beating them.
That's huge.
No mercy.
You gotta have them, man. Gotta have them waiting.
Yeah, I don't have the patience for that, to be honest. All right, so let's give Plarium a little bit of a hand here and kind of suggest what would actually make this fusion a must-do that, just some minor tweaks. And I honestly feel like, for me, the biggest thing that they could change for me to say, yeah, this guy could be actually a really solid nuker, is removing on the A2 here, these debuffs cannot be resisted by enemies that are under 2 or more debuffs. And then the part where the next time he tries to place it on his passive, right, the next debuffs cannot be resisted. The whole resisting part, I really don't like, right? I guess maybe on the A2, it's not bad if you're going to use him for Hydra or Chimera or places like that. That's fine. But I guess the passive is my biggest gripe. Ken, what about you? What would you change to be able to say, like, this guy is a must-do fusion?
Oh man, like I need to rework him. Like it's like you are asking like my dream champion, like he need too much.
Looking at the current kit, man. I'm not saying we're not saying like put all the mythicals in one, but as the current kit stands, what would need to change for you to say that he's definitely a good champion to go for?
A3 skill attack enemy.
Okay.
To attack enemy.
Okay. So you're fine with being forced to have to place the debuffs no matter what. But you would want to see the A3 being an AoE. Okay. Chat, what
because
about you
A3 also have ignore defense part, so.
Okay. Chat, do you guys agree
if
with
you
that?
attack everybody, would be better maybe.
Okay. Do you guys think that putting the A3 on an AoE would be way better and then would make you actually want to do this fusion? Zero, what about you?
I think the only thing that this dude existing kit is you add a few words to his passive. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff placed by this champion, the next debuff placed by this champion cannot be resisted. Period. Next sentence. This champion is immune to sheep debuff each debuff placed by this champion is takes their max HP to 3%, takes up to 30%. Yeah, I think if this dude was immune to polymorph or immune to sheep altogether, so that makes him immune to Armons, that makes him immune to all the other crap in the game, and of course the fact that he is like this debuff transfer / placer, I think he's going to be a magnet for. And it's kind of weird too because his kit. Like, if you wanted to avoid sheep, you would build him with high resistance. However, you want him to get debuffs so that he can put the debuffs out, back on the enemy. So, like, honestly, if this dude was immune to sheep, I would say must go get him.
Okay. Question to you guys, chat. Do you think that the immune to sheep would be better than the ignore defense on an AoE? Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, immune to sheep would I would say that would definitely make me go for him. He'd be just fun to take against Armons alone.
Yep.
Okay. But that would help with his A2. I like actually the not for arena, but I think for PvE, I like that you could build him without resistance and still use him. I think that's cool about his kind of passive and his
You
A2.
mean accuracy?
Or accuracy, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Accuracy. So I think for PvE, not for PvP. For PvP, I hate it. It's the worst. And I agree with you, Blaze, and take it off. So yeah, I guess all that being said, I feel like a counterattack would be kind of cool on him. Maybe on the A3, and that would activate the A1 a little bit more. I think the A1's kind of the most interesting thing on him.
Okay. So you're saying maybe
I don't know.
Like,
he's saying
counterattacks.
wait. Oh, if this champ is under any debuff when attacked, he counterattacks with the skill.
Yeah.
Oh, so so it's I don't know. I guess you don't need to have it. He kind of has one, but I don't know. I think the A1 is interesting. So I don't know. He needs. I guess it didn't work, but kind of works.
All right. What's the voice of reason got to tell us now, PJ?
Yeah, I think there's a few things they could do. One, I think, again, from what I saw in the multipliers, the A3 hit hard, but the A1 and the A2 didn't really hit that hard. So I think maybe just upping the multipliers for the A1 and A2 would be good.
Well, don't forget,
making
you got
the
empowerments, PJ. You got to wait for the empowerments. Then he'll hit really hard.
Yeah, of course. I also think that as a community, we have unrealistic expectation for fusions. I think we all compare them to Thor, Armand, Fabian, and we're also all end game, late game players here, except for King. He's more of like a mid game player. But like I think we have a skewed perspective, and we want like these insane champions. I think this champion is going to be, even right now, is going to be good for like early mid game, like just to have under the account. Also, maybe something they could do would be make his block damage protected or something. Make him kind of like a Narcy or an Nias. Yeah, so that could give him more survivability because, like we said earlier, having them survive longer is good. But yeah, I definitely changed the affinity. I think that I don't like him like being like he's kind of like a Riptide similarities.
Okay.
But,
King Copium?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, one thing that I would love to see a change on is I'd love at least one of these abilities to be an AoE. I think the A3 is perfect to go to an AoE. It says finish them. I mean, what are we talking about? And also, an affinity change would be absolutely nice. And then the other thing, too, I guess for me is even though Marius is in the game and he's an attainable champion for free for everyone, a lot of people don't have nut, and it would be nice if this guy would come in and have some enemy max HP somewhere. I know that that's a very lofty thing, and Plarium's extremely finicky about putting that in the game, but it would just be nice for people earlier on to have some more access to that instead of just relying on Cold Heart for everything.
Okay. Actually, my biggest gripe with enemy max HP hitters is why doesn't Calvilax hit hard? You got Cold Heart that hits harder than him.
Hits like paper, he's the worst.
Yeah.
He's only good for his passive, and that's it.
Yeah, seriously.
You can pair him with like a Teox, and you're pretty much GG. But yeah. That said, let's give this fusion an overall rating up to, and let's try to be a little bit fair. From our account standings. Let's go with, you know what? I'm gonna start with 0 first because he's gonna spew out everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I mean, realistically, like if I have to look this dude up on HH or something like that, I would say maximum 3. I would almost even say maybe a 2.5. I think, again, personal opinion, you throw, if he's immune to sheep in his passive, he would jump up to a 4 or 4.5. Personally, but yeah, the fact that, I mean, the way he works is very niche and cool, but at the end of the day, he, especially if you use him in arena, you can get polymorphed left and right. So, yeah, that lowers his value, in my opinion. So 3 maximum, 2.5 realistically.
Okay. So from a scale from 1 to 5, you give him a 2.5.
Yeah, or I mean, or 3. Yeah, I mean, three's fair. 3's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gestal, arena wise, what are we looking at for?
Arena wise. I was gonna give him a general 3. Rena, I would say. I'd say.
He's like, you're putting me on the spot now.
Like let's say I take Tarz's gear off. He's probably got my best HP nuker gear on. Let's say we take that off and put it on him. Like, is he gonna do what Tarz does? No, probably not even close. So, man, I don't know. 2 in arena.
A 2.
I don't think he's an arena champ. I don't feel like it. To me, it doesn't arena.
I agree. When they said it to us in content creator chat,
I kind of laughed.
This guy was not an arena champ. I was like,
arena,
I don't see it.
Okay,
I don't see it.
Sure. Whatever you guys say.
Ken, what about you?
Arena wise. I mean, I like to judge the champion compared to the other champion we can get. Like, I'm not going to judge him for the nice. Like, it's not that easy to get the nice, right? But it's super. I mean, every one of us going to be Embers one day. Compare him with the Embers.
Yeah,
like it's fair. Like there is a big difference, like big gap between
what
them.
Comparison?
And if we are going, if we are going to give the Embers from 5 point to the 5, I think he's 5 definitely.
Okay, so you're giving this guy what?
2. Arena.
Okay.
2.
King Copium, what do you got?
So for me personally, I'll probably give him 3. And that's just because for people who don't have anything, this guy is an okay option. For people that have anything, this guy is maybe worth investing into to fill out for faction wars. Hard faction wars is coming. But as far as this guy being at the top, it's just not going to happen.
He also does take 12 books, which is, I think, usually the fusions that have only been taking like 9. So he does take a little more than what the average fusion has been taking. PJ.
I would say like I'm gonna go a little bit higher, like a 3.5 maybe, a little bit higher. I think for the people that are gonna use him in arena, polymorph isn't gonna be that bad. Like, I think we're again thinking about like high end top arena. I think the people that this dude will be viable for is gonna be facing 1-star, 2-star polymorphs. The other thing about this guy, he's HP based, so like early mid-game accounts might not have an HP based nuker. So this could be their first or second HP based nuker in the account, which is pretty nice to have. So I give him like overall like a 3.5 for just general everything.
I think I'm reading chat here, and they're pretty much in the same agreement, except we got one person here, George Morgan, who's giving him a 1. He's like, I wouldn't even rate this guy if I could. That said, I think a 3 is fair. Again, I really am not a fan of being forced on having to put those debuffs out if I don't want them, right? But I guess for PvE fights where Chimera or Hydra, stuff like that, that is helpful, right? So last question for you guys. Did Plarium get this right in saying that he's a PvP champion over a PvE champ? Let me know, chat. What do you guys think? Ken, PvP or PvE?
I think Siege.
Siege. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does bring HP in all battles, so for Siege, that's a good thing. Maybe you pair him with other HP nukers.
Okay.
And pull some freaky defense out.
Zero, what about you?
Yeah, I think more PvE. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, but again, he would be PvP if you didn't have an HP based nuker on your account, right? But again, if you got Taras, like King Narcisse, even Eric's, and pulling off that little combo, and some others, I don't think he goes in above them. I think Siege would be really, really good, unless, hey, it's just a super long fight, so maybe Chimera and all that kind of stuff. So PvE all the way, not so much PvP. Siege, though, that's a great point. HP in all battles, so maybe that'll be funky fresh. I don't know.
Okay. King Copium?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is he a PvP or PvE champ? Did Plarium get it right when they said he's a PvP?
He's not a PvP champion anyway to me. PvE all the way. So even with people who don't have anything, I mean, I just don't see people having the gear. The people who are going to use him do not have the gear that it's going to take to get him where he needs to be to even compete in arena.
Fair. Gestal?
Yeah, if I hadn't read what they said, this is going to be a great PvP champ, whatever the heck they said in the CC chat. My initial inclination would have been PvE for sure.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, I could see where they're kind of thinking he's PvP, but his kit is just kind of like all over the place, and especially like with how the meta is now. It's kind of tough. But the other thing, is to make a champion, I feel like really PvP strong right now, he needs to ignore Stone Skin, and I just don't see them doing a fusion that ignores Stone Skin anytime soon.
Okay, fair point. All right, so overall, I mean, I think we're all in pretty an agreement that he's a PvE champ. Overall rating is a 3, and if you miss out on him, you're probably not going to be upset. Although, the caveat is we don't know what hard mode Faction Wars is going to bring. So do take that into account if you decide to skip this fusion. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the reward calendar here, because I am really upset here that they said we're going to get some really good goodies. And I honestly feel like the only thing that we got that was really great for the community week or community month was the wand. You guys agree or disagree, Ken?
About what?
That the best thing that we got out of this community month rewards was the wand.
Yeah, wand and the primal shard. By the way,
well, the primal shard is probably going to be a 3-star chicken.
I mean, yes, but
could be
one step closer to the mercy, so.
Okay, so instead of getting it next year, you'll get your mercy this year.
They actually mentioned one thing there. Like, I remember that because I made a video about it. There is going to be surprise reward, right? They said that. Where is the surprise reward? Which one is the surprise?
That would be the one key that you got for Claim Boss.
No, it's the avatar, bro. It's the avatar.
The avatar. Yeah, chat. What do you guys
I still wait on that, by the way. I still wait on that.
For
surprise
a community reward month that they did, did it feel very community-like? Did it feel like it was, again, my biggest thing was the Titan Path event. They made us work for the 5-star soul when we usually get it free for one of these login champions. But again, did it feel very community community-ish like, right? It just, I don't know. Zero, what about you?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at everything all together, I mean, you got 600 plus energy if you count those gems. You get a free legendary champion. You get a primal and you get the wand. You get a little bit of gear. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not very good. But if you were first starting out, if 2025 is your first time playing the game and you got all this stuff, I think that was a huge boost to you. So I can't knock them too. I mean, free stuff's free stuff, right? Like, would you want it to be better? Absolutely. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, hey, I'll take the free stuff, even though it's not account changing for me. But yeah, I think if you started in January and with Alice came into the game, this dude's gonna help you out a lot, and all this extra stuff will help you too.
I feel like they hyped it up like you're gonna get some really good stuff, and it just doesn't feel like it. Like, I don't know. King Copium, you're silent.
All right, for somebody who,
because actually, you would actually give the best and most fair comparison right now, because most of us are end game, so half this stuff doesn't work for us or we don't need it. So yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, so I mean, even somebody who just came back to the game like halfway through the Fabian fusion.
You just went silent again. You just went silent. There we go.
It's my Raid Shadow Legends. I keep trying to look at the calendar. So for somebody who just came back halfway through Fabian, taking a look at this reward calendar, it's like 2 energy refills, 100 gems, like random. It's all just random crap. I mean, and yeah, it all adds up, but this is nothing that we're not getting out of doing our dailies. So like, I don't see, I mean, other than the primal shard, and the free avatar, the wand we voted on. But as far as like community, this was 100% just Plarium doing what they always do, which is hyping it up and then letting us down. I mean, it's been that way since day one. I'm not sitting here saying, man, every single day of this should have been just an absolute banger, 20 mythical books. You know what I mean? But one of them would have been nice. Like, I'm not saying that we need 30 void shards, but one of them would have been nice. Like, instead you're giving us 10 brews. Like, what are you talking about?
The daily login is honestly better than what we currently
100%.
got, right?
I was more excited to get to my void shard in daily login this month than I was for anything I opened. Primal was the only thing that I got stoked about.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, that's a great point. I always look at these things. I try to be positive about it. It's free stuff. It's something we wouldn't have had with, if they didn't do this, whatever it is. But like, they did hype it up that they were going to give out like a ton of great stuff. There was some speed gear there. I guess it wasn't terrible 6-star speed gear. But yeah, like if we could have gotten, I mean, if they had just thrown a mythical book, I think people would have been elated. But even like, let's say a Lego book, Void Shard, Mortal Soulstone, maybe some essences, like stuff that people would really appreciate instead of the core hammers, man. Like, who cares? The core hammers are like, I guess some people are running Swift Parry again, but like, who cares about core hammers? Like, that's like, I mean, that came out at the beginning of the game, where no one's collecting those anymore.
Honestly, like they hyped it to the point where I feel like they should have just at least given us what we needed to get this guy to a 6-star.
That would have been great too. Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, that's a great point, because even people who just start the game, they have that potential for Rector Draft, and then there's everything you need to get your starter 6-star, like by just playing the game. And these are people who've been playing for years and years and invested money, and even the people who are free to play have invested time. And that's kind of the biggest offensive thing for me with the reward calendar, was it was 100% a slap in the face to me.
Okay. Let's hear. Does the voice of reason have anything to say that might change our minds? Putting him on the spot right now.
Yeah, no, this one's not looking too good for Telerium. Sorry to tell them. Yeah, it's like I was gonna do a video. I saw might do a video comparing these rewards to the calendar, the daily rewards. If you're like a late game, end game, and just how much better those are. The 3-hour gear removal, we can only use it for 2 days because it overlaps with the free gear removal they're doing now, and it's not a 99-day one, so it's like it's pretty much useless. Yeah, I think people already made great points. Adding like Lego books in here would be good. Relic, or I would say not relic, like Chaos Ore or glyphs. I don't know, something. These are terrible. 10 brews, and it's again like this is supposed to be the community event. They hyped it up, and the thing is like Raid is one of the best communities out there. Like it's such a good community, and I just feel like they either see it and they don't care, or they don't see it and just treat us like terribly. So I wish it was better. We do get the wand, which is really nice. We do get a champion, which is really nice. But they probably would have given us a champion around this time anyway, so I feel like that's kind of like they like, do you know what I mean? Like around, they always do champions every 2-3 months. So I feel like this would have lined up with a free champion either way. So it's not even like I feel like this is like an extra free champion. They're not giving us the soul for it, which they have in the past, which is bullshit. We have to earn the 5-star soul. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of rough.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll make one more statement. I think this dude takes 12 books as well, and usually they've been coming in around an average of 10. 9 if you're lucky, 11 if you're not so lucky. But this dude comes in at 12, so it'd been really nice if there were like 1 or 2 Lego books to help you bring it down to at least the 10 average.
I'm
of the new.
Curious to see if you summon him, does it automatically bring you the pop up to buy the books? Because it does that for a lot of the champions. Like when you summon the fusion, it automatically gives you everything you need in that pack to get him to 6-star and to get him fully booked out, right? For the
they're trying to get the new players.
But in the words of IPR Jungle, $600 million profit a year, and they won't give us a freaking $7 mythical book. Very sad. I agree. Overall, though, I will say we'll take the free champion. The biggest thing I feel that came out of this whole community week, and it's so sad that it's coming to an end, is the free gear removal, the free 2-week gear removal. And I watched Ash's video on this, and man, I think he's right, because number one, let me ask you guys, since this being activated, have you seen an increase in your amount of silver? Are you all of a sudden now going?
What was Ash's video? I didn't see it.
Where he was talking about the gear removal cost and how they need to remove it, and just keep.
Pretty much what I've been saying for the past like 5 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to ask you guys, as somebody that has played, I mean, I've been sitting at about 350 million silver to 300 million silver. Has your silver increased since this free gear removal has been going on, or are you still at the same? Ken?
It's increased. Can I add more stuff, by the way, on it? About this free gear swap, guys, time to time, CCs, we are talking about that on the CC chat, like why this is still a thing. Because, again, I play lots of the games in like last, I don't know, maybe almost 27 years plus since my childhood, and I don't remember removing your gear is costing you silver. Like, it's so stupid. And they are counterattack to us. People are going to abuse that system. Like, I guess they are thinking people are going to change their arena champion gear before the arena fight. First, how this is going to affect the arena. If this is affect the arena, Veil people has billion of the silver, so they can abuse that system. And the last, you give us 2-week free gear removal. So you let the people abuse that system, Polarium. How dare you?
Fair point.
You know, how dare you? Yeah.
I will say,
Which is-
prior to this event starting, I was sitting at around 350. I leveled up some gear, did some stuff, went down to 280. Then again, last CVC farmed out some stuff, was back up to like 350, almost 400 million, and then leveled up some more gear, and I'm back down to 289 million. So having this free gear removal, I mean, it did not, I didn't get any sort of surge on my silver that I just wouldn't have gotten from not actually doing stuff, right? Maybe I will say I spent more silver because I took a risk on leveling some of the gear that I'm like, well, usually I wouldn't level this because silver costs. And I took the risk and leveled it, and some of the pieces paid off, some of the pieces didn't. But Zero, what about you? Has your silver increased?
No, it's actually gone down 100 million silver easily. And I think, yeah, part of that is that, but it was like, now's the time to re-gear champs. And I feel like, at least for me, gear changing is not the most exciting thing in the world for me to do. And I feel like once you get a champion in place or kind of where you want them, like you don't want to start picking them clean, or, just taking off one piece, messes up their crit rate or messes up their speed, or, messes up the combo of the stone skin or whatever. So, I personally don't do a whole bunch of switching, and the people that are abusing the system, like Ken says, I think that's the whole reason why they, implemented something like this, is to keep people from swapping out all their different stuff. Same thing is why it costs the gems to change out your blessing, right? So you don't, I'm going to do clan boss with their brimstone on. Oh, okay, now I'm going to do this. Let's put soul reap on, or in arena or whatever, and constantly do it. But yeah, I think the Ash brought up some really good points. Is that this game is all about the champions and building combos and having fun playing the game, and the restrictions are the gear and or the silver cost to swap around your gear. And so he raised a good point that people are probably playing the game more. I would love to see their metrics at the end of this to see if people really were abusing the system. If that's a no, if they weren't doing that and they had more player time and more player engagement through these last couple weeks, then I think they should permanently remove it and just go on and do it.
I agree.
And I think their competitors don't charge to swap out gear.
I don't think so. Honestly, any other games that I've played haven't had a silver cost to remove gear. When I tried Watcher of Realms, I didn't do it. So, and to the point of, the top end players, listen, we know, or I know accounts out there that my 289 million silver is nothing because they're sitting on like 2 or 3 or 4 billion. So for them to swap out that, 1.2 million to get the gear out, it's nothing for them. Because when they're farming, like if I was to farm 100,000 energy, I'd probably keep about 40 to 50 pieces of whatever I'm farming. Those guys are keeping less than that because they're so specific on that. So the silver that they have is way higher than what we would get. Go ahead, Zero.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're good. And 100% is you're not going to stop them from doing it if they want to do it. The final thing I'll say is if they're really worried about, or they see the metrics and people were swapping gear left and right, they could implement a system that says you can only swap out gear once every 24 hours or once a reset or something like that. That would put hard brakes on people just flopping gear left and right and stuff. Again, that may be too restrictive, but I'm just saying if that's a worry to Plarium, a solution would be to implement something like that.
Okay. Gestal, what about you? Has your silver gone up or down?
I feel like the gear removal cost is really the issue with silver and, silver retention. I think they should just make this permanent, get rid of it. It definitely helps. I really feel like the biggest issue is you can spend 4, sometimes 5, 6 million upgrading something to 16, and if it doesn't hit what you want or whatever, it stinks, and you go to sell it, you sell it for 53,000. Like, that's ridiculous. I've said this before in past shows. I've been saying this forever, and I know it's the case for other games. As you hit certain levels, upgrading gear, it upgrades the value of the cell. they should definitely. I'm not saying a million. You shouldn't get a million silver back if you made it 16, but it should be, I don't know, 500,000, like 10 times the cost or something. Like, I don't think that's bad. So I don't know. I think that's the real issue there. Upgrading gear is the real issue with silver. They should definitely do this permanently. This is something I feel like they did initially in the game to promote people to do more dungeons, to try to get more gear, to fill out more champs. I feel like a lot of people probably early on were swapping, their best sets to a couple different champs instead of trying to fill out the champs. So that's why they added something like this or had it in initially. I'm not sure if it was it was probably in the game initially, but I think that's what their thought process was. Like, we want people doing dungeons. We want them getting gear for everybody. This is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
It's dated. It's like I change gear once in a while. Like I don't like I'll forget to like I have a shield, Slayer shield that's got a crazy amount of crit rate. So like it goes to a couple different people, so I can get like 40 crit rate on just passing that shield around. Because of the set bonus as well. And I'll forget to put it on Odin right before live arena fight. So I hate changing gear, and I'm sure a lot of other people feel that way. Like, you don't want to change gear and forget about it and then take them into an arena match and get blown away because you're missing something. So I think it's archaic. They should move on. Get rid of it.
I agree. I mean, I'm the type of person where I build my champs, leave them with the gear, except for Empress for some reason doesn't have any gear. Shame on me. But I leave the gear on them, right? I don't take it off. I don't swap gear. I look, every so often when I have the time, I'll do a complete gear change on my arena champs because that's the only ones that need change. And I try not to rip any gear off. Most of my teams right now are all enemy max HP hitter teams for any sort of dungeon. So I'm just not touching my Newts, my Crizia, or what's it called? My Pony, right? Marius. They all stay with the same gear, and I swap everything else that I need out. Clan Boss doesn't really need to have a specific team. You just go in right now with anything, and you're pretty good. So I don't find myself using, or especially this time around, I didn't find myself using this gear removal as much. What it did do is actually relieve the thought of me saying, well, you know what? I'm going to need to have silver if I need to swap stuff out. But I really used a lot more to just upgrading gear. King Copium, what about you? Did your silver intake increase?
So I would say that my silver has gone down a little bit, but my time spent in Spider to get more silver has gone down drastically because I haven't needed to worry about it. So I've just been spending what I had to upgrade some gear and move stuff around. I don't really use the optimizer because I multi-box and it's a whole thing. I don't like to close everything down. It's a headache. But one thing that I would say, because I liked what Gestal said about, it being archaic. There's already a system in the game where when you upgrade something, you can get a bit of a refund or something, and it's with blessings. I mean, if you put a 2-star on somebody and then you pull a 6, when you put that 6 on, it gives you some coins back. Is it 1 for 1 and you can go out and buy another soul or another stone with it? No, but it all adds up when you upgrade and you're spending millions of silver on a piece of gear and it doesn't, roll that way for you. And then you end up okay, well, then you get that copium of, well, maybe I can use it on this guy or I can use it on that guy. And then it just sits there and doesn't go on anybody. Then that's where the free gear removal comes in, because you get to kind of mess around a little bit more and see, can I make this work? Or, I'm not going to have as many regrets if I put a stupid piece on somebody because I can just pull it right back off. And then one thing that I do want to say about silver, because it's my moment in the sun here, is if you look at the Bastion, we have a gem mine. It's not, funding anybody's account. Nobody is running off the gem mine alone, right? But if you look to the left there's that house with that door. If they just opened that up and made that a silver mine next to the gem mine, and we could get, I don't know, man, 3 million silver a week out of that thing. Like, it would just be something to feed your account instead of having to sit here and just go farm and sell and use your energy to farm and sell and farm and sell. Just
Okay.
if we can have the gem mine, why don't we have any way to have passive silver gain?
Let me ask you, because you said that you didn't farm a lot of spider. What did you actually use your energy on? Because they could also be worried about people not purchasing energy or, putting.
So
their
that's a
energy
great
towards
question.
something.
So what I spent my energy on was building my Sand Devil 25, getting it to 100% win. I spent my energy on trying to get my Shogun team higher, progressing. I spent my energy on trying to speed up my dungeon runs to make my farming more efficient for tournaments. It kind of just was really nice to, and there's also like these whispers of pinpoint coming back soon. So there's also
We're
kind of
about
this
to, yeah.
mentality I have in my mind of like save, because I have 0 pinpoint. Now that's not true. I have 4 pieces from the El Hain minigame. So that's the only pinpoint on my account personally. So pinpoint is a massive thing for me. So I am definitely in horde mode right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely still did my farming though,
Okay.
but I didn't feel a need to go into spider and have to pick and choose, and you know what I mean?
Okay. PJ, what about you? Has your silver intake gone up or down?
I would say it's gone up a little bit, but I think that's because I've mostly been farming a lot of spider. They had that spider tournament recently. There was like the special rules one, so I did a bunch with that. And I also haven't been doing much of the Titan event or the community event, so been doing masteries and just farming spider. But yeah, I'm really happy to hear all you guys and Ash say that you guys about this like free gear removal, because I feel like I've been saying this for a long time now.
You
That
have.
I think that it's time for the game to do it. So yeah, hopefully with Ash and more people getting on board, Plarium might listen. Even if it's like every 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or every other week we get free gear removal. That'd be nice if they overlap it with Siege, because I know a lot of people switch gear for Siege. And I think the best thing about this game is trying different things, trying different teams, trying different champions, and you're really limited with the silver if you don't have much to do that. So yeah, I'm really happy with hearing all you guys say this.
Okay. So my last final thought about this is go ahead.
Go ahead. I got one more too.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, and I forgot to mention this, doing that Hell Hades free-to-play challenge this year as well, like that was the biggest roadblock in the game, is I'm trying to build all the champions, and really the most silver I had was to get geared up to like level 12 and stuff. And then you're really picking and choosing when you're moving from, 4-star gear to 5-star, and then maybe 5 to 6-star gear, and you're really picking and choosing what you're actually leveling up. But, once a month, they were giving us, the 3-day gear cleanse to coincide with Cursed City, which, reminder to everyone watching, Cursed City resets in the morning. So go ahead and get those 8 keys before the tomorrow reset. But I will say, when we got the opportunity to swap out our gear once a month, that was the biggest gains I saw on the leaderboards, where we're actually measuring how well we're performing against others. It was being able to take that gear off, because you don't have enough silver when you're first to play the game to level the gear, especially pick the better pieces and level that, and being able to swap it out and get good pieces on your champions. We're trying to do stuff with Alice and get some accuracy and some speed and some crit damage and all that stuff. You're trying to, make them help you in different areas. That free gear cleanse was the biggest gains ever. So if you're brand new to this game and you don't have the free gear swap out, it makes this game 10 times harder. So I hope Plarium listens to that and say, hey, we want to attract new people to our game. We've been doing that for years, but let's retain those players and not make it so hard for them to actually play the game and enjoy the game and progress through, especially those first 90 days in the game.
Okay. So now that we've got all that out of the way, let me give my final thoughts and my advice, not to Plarium, but to MTG, because those are the new owners currently of Raid Shadow Legends. Listen, as a whale, as a kraken, silver is not a problem for us. Okay. We're going to swap that gear no matter what. it doesn't affect us one bit because we will just go in and we will just purchase more energy, right? Whatever this energy pack is. We'll just purchase this. It doesn't matter. So we're going to go farm and we're going to get our spider. We're going to get our silver. This does help the lower accounts. This does increase the amount of time people will spend in game because they are more likely to play with more champions. So I would encourage MTG and Plarium to just get rid of the silver cost, keep this on 100% of the time. It's not even for Centranos at this point, where, you know, honestly, Centranos is my favorite part of the game. And I know some of you guys might be like, bullshit, but I look forward to Centranos every single month because it is the one content in the game where I get to build different champions and play, but I still don't sink silver into it. I did the first time around, I think I used like 150 million silver, but that was it. So that said, I hope that they listen and I hope that they take our advice and keep this around. All right. I do want to give a shout out here to the raid that we got from The Cursed One. Thank you very much for the raid. If you guys aren't following him over on Twitch, make sure you click on his name and click follow, guys. It doesn't cost anything. All right. One of the things that has been heavily requested to be discussed is 3v3 Arena. Now, this week, I purposely dropped gold 3 from gold 4. I dare not to drop below gold 3. I don't go into gold 1 or gold 2 because it is hell there. And one of the biggest challenges that players have is trying to get into gold 1, right? So they can work on their Ramantu missions. Where do you guys currently stand in 3v3 Arena? Where are you, Ken?
Gold 4, I believe over 2 years, I never drop.
Okay. Zero?
Yeah, I've never actually seen gold 4 just because you don't really get anything extra out of it. I'm actually in gold 2 currently. If I really wanted to push, I could maybe get gold 3 today, but like, what's the point? Just stay in gold 2. It's easier. It's less of a headache. I mean, what do you get? An extra couple bars that I can't spend anyway?
Okay. Will you also get better points for the dungeons and stuff? For the CVC along with the tournament. Yeah. Gestal, what about you?
I've been in gold 4 forever, I feel like. I haven't dropped out. It's like, I don't know, I feel like it's vacation up there. You just hang out in gold 4. Just chilling. I don't even try. I don't even look at what people are running. I just hit go, and if I win, I win. I don't. But I always stay there somehow.
It once you get in and you stay, it's easy to stay in. It's when you start dropping, trying to climb back up, I find very challenging.
That's true. That's true.
PJ, what about you? Where do you currently stand in 3v3 Arena?
Usually gold 3. Right now I dropped to gold 2. I like gold 3 or gold 2 a little bit better than gold 4 just because there's more people in it. I feel like there's more people to hit, even though it's less points, like because there's only 2,500, and like the way that like the meter works, I feel like there's not as many people to hit.
Okay. I'm looking at chat here. People are saying silver 3, silver 4. Let's see. I'm trying to gold 4, bronze. I'm not seeing anybody saying gold 1, but maybe King Copium, are you sitting in gold 1 right now?
No shot, man. So after taking the long break, I am currently trying to push out of bronze.
Okay. So gold 1 is the sweet spot. And the thing is, we only have 7,000 players. And this was actually increased, I want to say about 2 years ago, because they doubled what used to be in there, right? Which made it a little easier for some of the accounts to stay in there because at, I think this was, Gold 4 was sitting somewhere at like 1,500 players that were only able to be in there. What are your thoughts, guys, on them doing another increase and by how much of the current number? So let's say for Gold 1, it's 7,000. How much higher should they put it up to? Should they increase it 2-fold, 3-fold, 10-fold? Go ahead, Zero.
I'll go first.
He's like,
I'll go
"Let me hand
first.
up, teacher."
I'll go first. I don't know what that number should be, but it should not be a hard cap. It should be a percentage. That's all they need to do is say, okay, goal 4 is 1%, goal 3 is, the next 2%, or something like that. Because, if there are millions of people playing this game, 2,500 is just, I don't know, it's silly to me. It should be a percentage of the player base that is actively playing the game. That's my opinion.
Looking at this, right? It's less than 20,000 players out of, as you just said, a million player base that are actually in gold arena. One of the thoughts that, somebody in my Discord was talking about was, why not just introduce a platinum tier? That way all the Kraken and Big Boy accounts that are in here can move out and will alleviate the pressure for us to try to get into that Ramantu mission.
That'd be nice too.
Ken, what do you think?
I mean, I think the problem is not the percent of the player, but I think the problem is the inactive player. Because when let's say you are a whale, you're supposed to be on the gold 4 tier, but you quit the game or you don't have a time anymore to focus on the tag team arena, and you are going to be dropped down, right? Did I get disconnected?
No, you're still good.
Okay, so you are going to drop down, and this is what the people are seeing when they are pushing for the which Romanto mission, right? Romanto mission. They need to be reach the gold 1, but the gold 1, actually seeing some screenshot from my viewer. Hey bro, look at that. I almost doesn't see the difference between gold 1 and the gold 4. It's just crazy. Maybe Plarium is like, hey guys, like, here's the thing. If you are not going to play the game, I mean, if you are not going to do any fight in the, like, let's say 2 months, we are going to de-rank you more easier, more often. So they can go like, but they are going to be like silver then, right?
Yeah, but that may be true. If that goes down to bronze and let's say, silver, imagine, your account, my account, Gestal's account, like all those accounts coming down. What do you
maybe remove them?
You think? Well, that could
remove
be
them.
It. If an activity,
if they are inactive, you have to remove them. If they are not doing any single fight, remove them.
I think maybe a good idea would be, you know, you have to do a certain amount of fights to actually qualify. You know, they have the 20 for you to get the rewards. Well, let's bump it up to 200 a month. And I know that might be a little too high, but for you to stay in gold and still be an active account. If not, then you drop back down and reset, right? Which again begs the differ of, you know, what's going to happen down with these lower tiers, because everything that happens at the top just trickles down to the bottom, and it's not the top players that are paying for it. It's the lower end game players. PJ, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's definitely an issue with it being a hard limit versus like a percentage, like Zerbu said. They gotta do something. They either double the limit, add another platinum, do percentage. But the way it's at right now, I think is not good for the game. Like you said, the inactive players are flooding the lower stages. It's hard for people to push up. You need to do it for the Ramantu. Yeah, I think it's something they definitely need to look at and to try to change. I think the percentage would be a really nice idea, because the game's always going, like the numbers of players always changing, so just having a percentage could be nice.
Okay, so you and you mentioned percentage. What percentage would be fair for the, you know, gold tier? What do you guys think? Chat. Let me know, and then I'm gonna actually ask PJ again.
I mean, well, what's 2.5 or what's 2,500 player limit? I mean, what do you think that's percentage right now?
0.0005. It's like the chances of me crafting a legendary or a mythical artifact out of a rare relics.
Yeah. So maybe
Look at
I don't know.
I remember that.
The thing is like
that.
3v3 isn't like a competitive, like it's not like a competitive game mode. People do it just because they have to. You know what I mean? It's not like it's live arena or like platinum pushing in classic. It's kind of you just do it because it's there. So I don't think they really need to make it super limited unless they're gonna try to add something else to it.
So the only question
I
I,
have no idea
guess
for
would be
what?
on the amount by percentages if the player base goes up and down, right? So if let's say this year they have 1 million player base, next year they have 500,000, then that shrinks. Then the amount of people that can be in there will also shrink, right? Which then would that make it more challenging or not?
Well, we got bigger issues if it goes from 1 million to 500,000.
That's true.
We're looking for a new game.
I'm just throwing some numbers out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. I guess percentage sounds good, but they just need to add more limit. I mean, 5% or something like that. I mean, I don't think it's going to be the numbers are going to go up and down that drastic of an amount.
Okay. I'm just reading chat here, and Freak makes a comment saying, you know, he's been playing for 2.5 years. He's got a decent roster, very good knowledge of the game, and he has a very difficult time, you know, trying to stay within Gold 1 and Gold 2 and trying to compete with that. So, and again, that's an end game player right there, right? Gestal, what about you, man?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one, right? Because I would love to see what the pool of bronze 1 is, where it says unlimited. Like, how many people are stuck in that? Like, there's got to be millions of accounts that were created and just sit there. So you would have to do. I like the percentage based. You know, the Zero brought up and everyone's been kind of mentioning. But I feel like it would have to be like to accounts that are active within the last month or, I would say month, active in arena or active in whatever tag team or live arena, whatever. And that would be the pool you would choose some. Maybe that could work. I don't know. I honestly didn't even know there was a hard cap on these different.
He's like,
tiers.
I've been in Gold 4 for so long that I have no idea
I've been there,
what you peasants are dealing with.
I didn't know. It's actually interesting. It was interesting to find that out. I didn't realize that. And it's crazy that it goes from 15 to 7. Like, that's why Gold 1's so hard, man. I have to tell you, on my free to play, I can't get past Silver 2. I get into Silver 2, next week I'm back to Silver 1. I just chill in Silver 1 on the free to play. No, I haven't built up all my new champs. I got a lot better live arena champs on my free to play now. Fabian, you know, a couple other guys. So I think I could potentially start making a move if I really wanted to. I'm nowhere near the Romantu mission, so I'm not that concerned about it, but it's tough to move on the free to play, man.
So I just did some quick math here by just adding what players. So Plarium says that they have about a 2 million active player base, right? Just from Bronze 2 all the way to Gold 4, there is 337,000 players, which means the pool over here has about 1.7 million players in it. That's
active.
That's
based on the active
players. That's it.
Think of the non-active accounts chilling down there too.
And I'm just like, wow, crazy. You know, one of the things that they could possibly do is players that are inactive for more than 2 weeks in 3v3, they could just be removed, right? That will alleviate some of the spots that are being held down here. And I also thought of just something right now where, what if we have a reset, like every 3 months, it completely resets and we climb back up? Would something like that work? No?
No. They need to make live or 3v3 better if they're going to do that.
Let us stay on the Gold 4.
Ken's like, no. I need the easy.
Enjoy your pillows fights. And your people feeding you grapes, and you guys just keep having a good time up there.
But
you know what we need? You know what we need?
What's that?
Bazaar, bro. Look at the bazaar.
The bazaar does need
outdated.
To change. I agree.
They need to put new item there. It's literally like system is ready. They just need to put there like Dusk, maybe Cause or Primal Shard, maybe, you know, maybe Mythical Book.
They did
Instead
say
of
that
putting
they're
clan
looking-
shop, on like next 20 year, they can
They
put
did-
over there.
they did
Because
say that
right
they're
now
looking to
I'm
change
sitting with
this.
250k gold bar. I cannot buy anything because all of them on the cooldown.
Oh,
I purchase everything, all of them on the cooldown. I cannot purchase anything.
I mean,
This
Ken, if you're
secret
not
and the
buying
legendary
rare
book
books,
is 1 month cooldown. I cannot purchase them. I have to wait. I have money. I can't.
he's like, I got silver bars to spend here. Let's go. I need to use them.
Yeah.
Which I agree. I think that is an issue. That why do we need to have the cooldown? Honestly, I think I don't mind 3v3 arena. Of course, granted, I'm in gold 4 99% of the time until I drop down for this. But I will tell you that being in gold 3 was definitely challenging. I was like, whoa, some of these accounts are like, what are they doing here? These should be the accounts being in gold 4. But again, it would make me do it a lot more. Not that I already don't, but it would make me do it a lot more if the cooldown wasn't here. And the argument that Plarium would have would be like, well, you guys would spend too much in here and you get a lot of free sacred shards and, da 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 da. I mean, it cost me 100 gems for a 10 slot refill. Like, come on. For me to farm out 30,000 with gems, it's going to cost me almost 3,000 gems to try to get this sacred shard. We're not going to sit there and do it, right? So that said, I would really love to see that change. What are your final thoughts on what should happen with the tier system here to the Romantu mission, especially? Should that be removed? Zero.
For the Romantu mission, no, I mean, everybody had to earn it that way. I do know it sucks if you don't prioritize it. I think there is a pattern with this that you need to learn, especially if you want to move up, you need to put your defenses in, maybe even on a Tuesday or Wednesday versus a Thursday or a Friday. On that, but what I will say, final thoughts on if people are in those lower levels and they're fighting Kraken accounts and set for defenses, I do think that's probably something that needs to be addressed. And I think an easy fix for that, if Plarium is listening to this, is if you drop from the tier that you're in to the next tier down and you drop with 0%, you know how you can have a 0 there because you've been smacked that many times that day or whatever. Mm-hmm. If you drop down a tier and you have 0 there, they should just automatically remove your defenses. And then you wouldn't even be a defense. You have to have your defenses set to, I think, even be in that thing or whatever. So I think that would be a good suggestion. Is because I don't know, that'd be ridiculous to have to go up against mythical champions and silver 2 or something.
Okay. Ken, I know you don't want to have any sort of resets or anything, but what about you?
I mean, like I said, like I'm okay with the system. I love Tag Team Arena compared to the most of the players. My only improvement can be like Bazaar, because I don't have a problem to get in my tokens. So I like to spend more stuff. I like to be more updated Bazaar, because since the Tag Team Arena released it, we got a lot of new content and it's lots of new resources, let's say, right? Like the one I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I wish they put some of them here on the Bazaar, so it can maybe actually change the players' opinion about the Tag Team Arena. Oh man, there is a primal shard there, there is like mythical book, there is like dust. We always need dust. Doesn't matter how many times we are farming on the sun table, we always hunger off of them. So I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, but that's
and I want 3 versus 3 live arena, by the way. So
3 versus 3 live arena. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Way to be cancer there, Ken. So what about you, man?
Well, I've said this in the past. I think it would. I'm fine with the way it is too. Honestly, this to me is like Hydra or Demon Lord. Like it's just kind of run and done. Like I don't even think about it at this point. Even with the free to play, I'm fine with not having Romantu, frankly. If I can ever, do it, I'll do it. But gold one's probably unattainable for that account till I get better gear. But what could they change? I have said this a couple times as well in the past. I used to play AFK Arena, and they had a similar type of tag team. There would be 3 teams of 5. And I'm not saying you necessarily have to do 5, but let's say you do 5v5, and the first team doesn't lose a single champ, but they lose some health, and they beat the whole enemy team, right? That same team would then face their second team, and that first team could, whatever, be still strong enough to beat that second team, or at least take some champs out of that one. So it's, I don't know, to me that's more of a true tag team than what this is. It's just basically 3 arena fights. So that to me would be the way to make this, I don't know, a little more compelling, I think.
So I kind of like that idea, and I think that not to cut you off, but I kind of like that idea, because if you have one strong team, that one strong team is going to be able to take this team on, could possibly take 2 teams on.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe Team A goes up against Team A. I win. They bring in Team 2, and I think that might actually help out and alleviate some of because there are players that have 1 or 2 really strong teams, and the bigger issue that a lot of players have is, obviously everybody's trying to use speed leads as much as possible, but can you build every champion fast? And you don't know, on this team, who do I know is going to be their fastest champion? Is it going to be the what the hell's her name, Estrid, or is it going to be Starsage, right? So Gestal, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that was pretty much it. I think if they wanted to update tag team, I think that would be a cool way to do it. Okay. But honestly, I'm fine with the way it is. It's kind of farm mode for me, and run 5 a day and move on to the next thing. Kind of, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. I will tell you guys that, dropping down to gold 3, having to fight full teams is an annoyance, because I've been in gold 4 for so long that it's just 1-man teams. And it's like, okay, the whole page is 1-man teams that you put a 1-man defense in, and you're just farming that out throughout the week. It's a lot more challenging when you drop down, and a lot more time consuming. PJ, what about yourself?
I think it's definitely something they need to look at. It feels like, again, a lot of the things that are in the game are very old. The game's been out for 6 years. A lot has changed. And I think they need to come to the times again. It's 2025, not 2020. So make the limit higher. I think Ramantu's not the best champion, but I still think he's worth going for. And
hold on. Ramantu actually unlocks a lot of players' Sand Devil 25 teams, which is huge. It also helps out with Phantom Shogun as well, too.
What did I say wrong?
Well, you said Ramantu's not a great champion.
No, I said he's not the best champion.
He's actually a really solid champion, especially because he does bring, I've
not the best. It's still good.
I forget to ban him sometimes, and I get shitted on by him.
Okay, maybe I came off wrong. I mean, he's good. I'm just saying he's not insane.
Okay.
I don't think he's as good as he used to be, or what he was. He's decent. He's a good champion. I still think you should go for him. Sorry if I came off like you shouldn't go for him, but yeah, I think that they should make him a little bit easier. It's tough getting into those higher up 3v3s now. It's easier almost to get Marius than it is to get Ramantu, at least for the live arena. You think you only need to get to silver 3 or something like that, or it's not even gold for live arena for Marius.
That's a very huge point right there. Is Marius has a way lower threshold for live arena than you do for
Ramantu than 3v3. Yeah,
and he's a way better champion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that it needs to be looked at. What's gold, Bob? You don't need to get gold for Marius.
No, you don't need to be in gold for Marius. You just need to be in silver 3 or silver 4. I think it
so,
is.
Yeah.
King Copium, what about yourself? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So 3v3 is actually a mode that I enjoy playing. I like to strategize and I like building my champions. I don't like them all just sitting there doing nothing. So I enjoy a mode that has to have me incorporate a bunch of champions to get something done. I come across kind of negative most of the time with Plarium, but it's just because I really love the game and I know what it could be, and it's not. And I think that, they keep adding all of these really cool systems into the game, just like everybody else is saying. They need to update it. But it's like, 3-star chickens, like I can pull 3-star chickens. Like I don't even need those to be purchasable anywhere. It would be nice if they moved all the chickens down one tier and put feasts, which they don't offer damn near anywhere, anytime, in the gold block for a purchasable. And I just think that most people who play tag team are going for the direct star. And as soon as they pull him, most of them just can't be bothered to give a crap anymore. And being in bronze, trying to get out and get back up to silver and gold and all that, like it takes forever. And I don't see one man defenses ever. And so it would be nice, like Zero, I think, said, to just after a certain amount of time, even if Plarium just said, screw it, we'll take 3 champs out of each one of the teams and just have a random one-man defense set if they've been inactive for this long,
Maybe
or
introduce
just
some bots
deactivate
to
it.
bring people
Yeah.
up. Okay.
But I think that the time limit too of forgive me, but how long does tag team go before it resets? It's a week, right? Before you either move up or down.
Yep.
Sunday night.
Yeah, it's not as easy. In Arena Classic, you can push up as high as you want, as high as you're willing to go. But in tag team, you are stuck in the constraint of moving up one at a time, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to push up a little more because at 1553, I don't know if I'm gonna make it into gold 4 because I'll end up seeing a lot more red over here tonight. It's funny actually. 'Cause I was just reading chat and Sus made, I think, the most hilarious comment here that said he actually was able to get Ramantu because he was able to get Marius first. That unlocked Ramantu. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what else is crazy? Ken, where can people come and find you?
FinalKenpachi, both YouTube and the Twitch. I'm streaming every single day, guys, at the Clan Boss reset time. Thank you.
All right. Zero Brew, where can everybody come and find you?
Hit me up on that Twitches and the YouTubes. Got the 1,000. Thank you so much for helping me get there. And keep tuned in, and we'll keep the videos flying out.
And don't forget, at 2,000 subscribers, he's going to show us how to do that shuffle. The old man shuffle.
The cowboy shuffle. Yeah, old man shuffle. Yeah.
Gestal, what about you, man?
Yeah, Gestal Gaming on Twitch and on the YouTubes. Sunday through Friday, 2 to 7 Pacific Standard Time.
Awesome. King Copium, what about yourself?
I'm on twitch.tv/king_copium. I'm pretty much doing the thing every night and every weekend. Eastern Standard Time. I have not nailed the schedule down, but I'm around.
All right. PJ, what about you?
I'm XPJE on Twitch and on YouTube. We stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day as much as possible. Come say what's up.
Awesome. Zero, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
Yeah, we're going to do with Bard Games. He was in here earlier. Hopefully he's still here. Give him a shout out. Stole you, dude. Yeah, he's awesome. He's on late when PJ's on as well and stuff. So he's cool, dude. Like hanging out with him some. Okay. There he is. Bard Games. There he is. Y'all give him a follow if you're not following him.
Awesome. Ken, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
I am going to shout out the Boomer Play Games. He's pretty much streaming every single day and playing raid. Very funny guy, especially when you raid him. He's showing his.
Yeah, it's the best raid.
Yeah, you guys can see like very nice reaction from it. So make sure to follow him, guys. I post the link on the chat.
Awesome. King Copium, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
Yeah, so for shout out today, I'm going to give it to Big Head Mike BMX. Super awesome guy. He's a good streamer, funny content. He is, he's just a blast to hang out with.
Awesome. Gestal, what you got for a shout out, bro?
Well, I'm gonna give a shout out to my Brazilian friend Alex Chocolate. He's been doing this a long time, man. If you guys speak Portuguese, go check him out. He's pretty much solely Portuguese, but great streamer. He's on all the time. Go check him out, man.
Awesome. PJ, what you got for a shout out from me, bro?
All right, we're giving a shout out to NSD Undead 1. He's an awesome dude, playing the raid, does a lot of account help. Really good vibes. Check him out, give him a follow.
And I'm going to give my shout out to King Copium, or, as I like to call him, Copium King. Yesterday, I DM'd it because I was like, oh shit, we got to give the gems away. And I got to get it in soon. So I was like, hey, do me a favor, give these out. And he's trying to figure, like, last minute online while he's streaming, I'm doing this too, guys. And he's trying to figure out how to do marble bases to get this going. So, and big shout out to him for, coming on the podcast twice. And I listen, it's really great to see a perspective from a mid-game player, because I've just been ingrained with so many of us being late game, end game, where we don't really see what happens down at those levels, right? So big shout out to you for coming and sharing your thoughts out with us, man. Next week is Mother's Day, and a lot of us do have wives. We all have moms. So we're going to spend that Sunday with our moms/wives. A, because we love our moms, and B, we probably don't want to get divorced from our wives. So we won't have a podcast next week, but we will be back the week after. Twitch side, we're going to actually raid Proper Calibri, who's over on Twitch right now. Never raided him before, so we're going to go there. We're going to show him some love. Make sure you guys give him a follow. Let him know that you love his content and that we sent you there. Guys, as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.